Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Chair Yoga. We've been working a little theme here the last couple of weeks. I'm going to veer away from that, finish up the sequence of themes, I guess, of practices that we're going to explore. I'll finish that up on Monday next week. So for today, I just want us to come back into the whole idea of trusting the body to enlighten the soul. So the work we do in our yoga practice in terms of the physicality of it, the focus of strengthening core and coming into a place of better breath awareness time after time after time brings us into the body, and we trust the body to enlighten the soul, because without fail, when we come into this practice and we may approach it almost every time with the idea that I'll feel better because I'm going to move and I need that and all that, and that's all great. But we also come away with, I think, reliably with just sort of a new perspective, a softening about the way we understand ourselves. We're kinder to ourselves and others, um, and that's all about this practice of love and unconditional positive regard. So we're just going to take it from there, coming into the body in various ways. I've got my own body to tend to today, which happens to be low back issues, has been for a little bit here, a couple of weeks. So we'll be focusing on some strength and stabilization there. So come into your nice, comfortable seat, coming away from the backrest. Bring that block between your knees, if you will. Make sure you feel your imprint of your feet to the floor. And the block will help you to align your legs properly. And let's pull in the belly strength, pulling in through the belly and the core strength that's available there is probably the most fundamental way to stabilize your low back. So you might hear me saying that quite a bit today. Try to stabilize that low back by pulling in the belly, feeling that core action, that abdominal strength turning on. We usually have it on a low grade, very low setting on our our daily activities. But for back, especially low back stabilization, we need to turn that up into more of a greater awareness, more intentional strengthening there. So let me join you in the chair and we'll get started. We're starting, as we do often, with palms up. So palms are up on our lap, eyes are closed now as we begin to feel the breath moving in our body. So let's not hesitate. Let's go right for that full body experience of our breath. So once you start to feel the inhale and the exhale, and you're there with this breath awareness, that, see, by now we're so practiced at that. We really, doesn't take a lot of effort for us to come into the connection to the breath. So let's begin as soon as you have access to that, feeling the breath throughout the whole body. It's as though when you press your feet to the floor, that too, connects to the vitality in the body, and that's just going to all translate to breath. So in almost every awareness we come to, squeezing the block, pulling the belly in, it's all part of this vital experience of breath. Let's soften the mouth. We don't want tension in the body in ways that just detract from, the experience of freedom and strength. So sometimes we drain ourselves by gritting our teeth, just habit. These are habits. And so wherever you might find those kind of things where your hands are gripped, maybe, that'll happen once in a while in yoga while we're moving through things or doing something. All of a sudden you're thinking, why am I holding my hands in a tight fist? I don't know why. It's just habits. It just sneaks up on us. And then we remind ourselves with kindness and awareness to soften and release that. There's unconditional positive regard right there. So palms open, of course, is the gesture of receiving. We're using this as a mudra to help us set our own intention for class today. What do you need from yoga? Really take a moment to inquire within. And maybe a word comes up or an experience, a feeling that you've been dealing with, emotional or felt experience in the body. And to see if that becomes important and that you can you realize, yeah, I think it's that. My intention has something to do with that. And so it is. So let's flutter the eyes open, get used to the light, takes just a second. And then we're going to just press our hands into our legs so that we can, feel our hands into the body. That's a nice connection, our inner awareness, of course, of our body experience. But hands to the body is a double layer. You really can feel your experience of your body by touching. And see if you can now again find that breath awareness as a full body experience, full breath in. Takes a while because you're going to travel through the whole length of the body, and full breath out. Good. Let's extend the arms alongside the frame of the chair and pull back, coming into our cow position. So we're going to get into the spine, start to open, through the front body. It's whenever we create a little back bend in the back, we're going to find opening in the front, and that's a nice little pairing there. So breathing in and breathing out, feeling the feet connect to the floor, nice and stable. Both breathing in and out. We'll get to the vinyasa in just a minute. I'm going to turn myself. You don't need to do a thing, but I just want to turn myself so I can illustrate something here for you. When we come into the cat pose, I want you to just let your hands just rest gently on your knees. You might even hold your kneecaps. I have found that to be useful. What I want you to avoid, just watch me for just a second, is the temptation, it seems, to come forward with your shoulders, that when you're going to round your back, somehow we sort of come forward and create that C-shaped curve. So holding on to your kneecaps, see if you can keep your shoulders above your hips, that you're more mindful of that, and that the movement is in the spine alone. It's not your shoulder carriage bringing you forward, but it's just through the back body, creating as much of a curve as you can. And it might not be as much curve as you're used to feeling while you're doing this kind of thing, but stick with this. Trust me on this, that you keep your shoulders above your hips. And I have found it kind of useful to hold on to the kneecaps. Maybe that will help you remember that posture. So let's just hold the C-shaped curve of the cat for a moment. Pull the belly way, way in. You're trying to pull your belly button in toward the spine. It kind of creates a little sinkhole right in the belly there. So you can feel the shape. You'll know how to get into it fairly quickly because we've practiced it. So now we can do our vinyasa. As we lift up, arms slide past the chair. We've got that arched back, full breath in, exhaling as you round your back. So focus now. You don't need to watch me do it. I want you to focus in your chair, focus on the space you occupy, on your breath. You need a long breath. You need a long inhale and you need a long exhale, so you can do both of those very well, very mindfully. And if you're like me and there's a part of your body like the low back is what I'm really noticing the movement and how it is felt in my low back. Because I want everything I do, that's kind of the way I approach it. I want everything I do in yoga today to help my back. I want it to get stronger. I want to know what's happening. I'm paying attention to it. So I'm just like giving myself that loving awareness to heal it, strengthen it, and ultimately heal it. So one more through your vinyasa. And let's come back to a neutral position. I'm in favor of the alphabet. So we're going to start with our T here. So rotate your arms so the thumbs point back. Strong arms, strong legs too. And take a look from one hand to the other. Let's just look around, see how our neck is doing. but find the exhale. We can start breathing real short. This is just very tempting right now that our breath just sort of stays in the chest. We're getting the job done, but it's not into the body like we would like to do. So mindfulness there, bring yourself, even as you're just turning your head from side to side, you've got a deeper breath. Linger where you might need to. I turn my head in one direction. Oh boy, it's tight. I'm going to stay there, linger, move a little bit, maybe adjust my shoulders, see what needs to happen so I have a little more freedom of movement. Beautiful. Let's come back now. We're going to come back to center and we're going to create the Y. This is going to give us a back bend. So the arms are up, palms facing each other. Put your mitten hands on. Thumbs are pulling away from the fingers, and then pull your arms back. I don't know why, but I've often just said, pull your thumbs back, so we're just pulling the arms, pulling back, and it just lifts up your whole rib cage. You might be able to lift your face up toward the ceiling. So if your neck is agreeable to that, the more you lift yourself by using your rib cage, the more you'll be able to tilt your head back. Because if you're just lifting your arms up, your neck is in trouble. So if you lift your whole rib cage, lift through the armpits, you're going to find lots of support to lift your face up toward the ceiling in a nice back bend. Palms will come together overhead now. Exhale, let's bow to the heart. Good work so far, huh? Inhale up and exhale back to the T. Spread your hands open the fingers, so going out of that mitten hand and into the more starfish hand, wide open. And this time, let's just turn so the palms face forward. We're going to find a diagonal line. Be sure to check real quick that your arms are in a single plane. And I want both arms to be reaching and expanding. It's like this is an opportunity to lengthen our arms a little bit, find some broadening through the shoulder carriage. But also it's how you're turning your head, where your drishti is. So I'm going to let you pick that. Look where you need to. What does your body say about where you're focusing your gaze? Deepen the breath. And it can move. You could decide, I'm going to look up for a while. I'm going to look down for a while. I'm going to look behind me, in front of me, any of those possibilities. Stay with it. You pay attention to your body and what your body needs. Let's bring ourselves back to neutral. Palms are going to come together overhead. Inhale with me. Exhale here at the heart. Inhale up. We're back to the T. Catch up with your breath. Flip your hands so palms are facing forward. Create the other diagonal line. You want the other arm up now. So switch. You're checking to make sure your arms are in a single plane. It's important. Carry yourself just right. Now broaden and make sure you're not leaning, that somehow there might be a temptation to lean into one side or the other. So balance yourself in your pelvis. There's no leaning as you find your drishti, as you hold this particular diagonal line. Full breath in and out. Arms open like this, your breath is different, right? You can feel it so much different in your chest, into the lung capacity there. One more full breath cycle. Bring your head back to neutral. This time we're going to come into the goddess position. So you've got your elbows bent, hands wide open. Let's pull back and let that be a way to come into a back bend. Lift your chest and lift your head if you're able to. Testing the waters, making sure it's okay and agreeable with your neck, breathing in and out. Stomp your feet to the floor. Really push your feet to the ground so your legs are very active here. Follow that action. You push your feet to the floor. You feel the strength of your legs. Follow that into the body and just get curious about that. Let's lift up, straight up with the arms, palms just reaching up. But don't crowd yourself around your ears. You're going to get your necks, opened up, the area around your ears opened up and not kind of crunching in there. And let's find that W. This is a great way to feel the shoulder blades drawing towards center. And then finally the L, which I find as challenging as ever. Bringing your elbows into your waistline and palms lifted, kind of bringing your hands into a position like you're holding a serving tray or something. And you're just trying to find as much space between your hands as you can. So maybe, you start with your hands forward, just getting yourself in place, and you start to pull your hands away from center, and you're just noticing what kind of muscle engagement that takes to move your hands away from center in this position. Get some strength in your legs and just notice where you're finding and feeling this in your body. Where's the strength being created? When we release our arms, let's go super slow and let our arms come alongside the frame of the chair. We're going to move through our vinyasa of the cow and of the cat. Hands come to the knees. Remember to keep your shoulders right above your hips. One more time through that inhale of the cow and the exhale of the cat. Beautiful. Let's come back to center. We're going to put our block on the floor. It's going to be a barrier for us. So just coming between your feet, kind of like, but open up your feet wide from that. Let's hold on to the chair to begin with, because we just want to step over that. So I want you to use the barrier. Find a gaze outside. Don't watch what you're doing on the floor. Hold yourself upright. Look out in front of you, holding onto the chair to begin with. You find that you've got the core strength. Your low back is agreeable to this, that you can use, your hand, put your hands at your waist, for example, and just let the legs strengthen, let the core strength do this movement. Here's what we're going to do. We're just going to keep moving, hopping over, feeling our breath, and change to the other leg. So you're going to hear me give that directive that we're just starting to, find this step, pattern the body, change to the other leg. So be willing and ready to change, just as soon as you hear the cue that you're going to change to the other leg. We're changing now, change to your other leg. Keep your foot on the floor, that standing leg, the one that's not moving, keep it pressing. Let's change the leg. And let's meet with both legs open and find your goddess position. So knees are open wide, heels are drawing toward the center, elbows held at the height of your armpits. That's our goddess pose. Hold that, press your feet to the floor. I want you to see if you can do your perineum work here. Push your feet to the floor and just feel yourself floating up off the chair seat. Relax back down. Press your feet to the floor. Feel yourself floating up off the chair seat and press down. So it's that perineum work, the toning of the very, floor of the pelvis, the whole connective tissue that supports your bottom. We're lifting up through that. Use your belly. Give yourself a good pull in through the navel area. Last time. Push into your feet, lift yourself up, and soften and release. Let's open and close now. That's going to take a move of the block, isn't it? I had that right in the way. So we move the block underneath and see if you can just bring yourself from that open position of the goddess to closed. Open and close. Good. Open now. And now I want you to find the moving goddess. I often call this the dancing goddess. So press your feet to the floor so you feel like, you could do this without the chair underneath you. It just gives you that kind of confidence that you're moving around, and find some fluid movement of the upper body. Maybe include a little twisting, turning yourself to look from side to side. Your arms go with you. Dancing goddess. It's like non-linear movement. That's a common technique in yoga poses, or yoga practices, I should say, on the mat, is to introduce some non-linear movement where your body's just finding its own little groove here. I like to do it with the goddess. Let's bring our hands now to our shoulders and begin some movement side to side, just dipping down, strengthening the abdominals of the side body, that wall, oblique muscles. Turn your head so it feels like your ear is dipping down with your elbow. And then stay with me. Well, let's crisscross. Let's just crisscross. And maybe your knees have to come a little bit closer. You can make that subtle adjustment. Crisscross now. Now go back to just side to side where we began, just the side to side movements. So we're just giving ourselves that challenge of, queuing up and changing the movement. Side to side. Okay, let's crisscross. Whenever we cross the center line, we bring one limb to the other side of the body. I'm telling you, there's some real power in the brain function there. One more tap on each knee or each side there and come back to your neutral position. Let's spring that loose by just lifting up. Reach your arms up. And then slowly bring those arms just all the way down, all the way down. Let's bring our legs in hips distance apart. If the block will keep you honest with that, maybe let's try it between our ankles. Just a suggestion so we can keep our legs in alignment now. It's a very neutral position. I want to do some twisting here. That twist is a real good strengthener for low back issues, so I'm going to incorporate that whenever I can. It's kind of like using a Ferris wheel idea. So let's just start with the right arm reaching in front and coming all the way around, kind of somehow it's following the course that a Ferris wheel would do. Not perfect, but you get the idea. Lifting up and just start to notice. Now, you're going to have to turn yourself away from the screen. I want you to let your head turn to kind of follow that arm. So you're looking up maybe and coming back with it. Looking up and coming back. Next time you lift up and come back, let's hold that as the very first step of the twist. So you're holding the chair, maybe you slip your hand behind your back and your left arm crosses over to hold on to your right thigh. So notice how that feels in your twist now, because you came at it with a well-practiced rotation through the shoulder. Nice and long with the spine here, vertical, no leaning. Feel yourself balancing in your pelvis. Find the right side, left side balance, finding that sweet spot in the center. Finish the breath all the way through. Both the inhale comes in completely and the exhale does the same thing. Unwind your head first and then your shoulders will follow. Take a moment now to do something to reset your body. Maybe you want to do some shoulder rolls or whatever seems to be the thing to do with your body now as you reset. And then we're going to do that Ferris wheel kind of movement on the other side. So we've already done it. We know we're going to turn and look around with it. So it's a straight arm, lifting up and all the way back, keeping it as close to the frame of the chair as you can. I feel the difference on one side to the other. I don't know if you do, but I surely do. Let's let this one be the gateway to the twist. So as we bring it back, we're going to set it up. Hold the chair or put your left hand behind you. Let your right hand just come right over to hold on to your thigh there. Set it up, balance in your pelvis, pull the belly in. Let's get strong with that core support to support our back. And pay attention to the cues your body gives you, because you remember the green light? We might find a green light here where we're able to deepen into this twist. So don't get in a habit that it goes only so far for me. I do it like this. It's such a common thing. But let's just see what's the moment have for us today. What does the moment have in terms of this particular twist? Exhale completely. And then we're going to turn the head out of that. And then the shoulders will come out of that. And we're going to do some scrunching and release. So scrunch up, squeeze and hold and release. And again, scrunch and release. I want you to move your block out of your way. I'm putting mine under the chair. Now we're going to just do some leg lifts like we often do, just to get the body warmed up all the way through. But this time I want you to really notice that when you're lifting your foot up, you're lifting that leg up, you're pulling in the belly. You're going to let the belly engage so that when you pull it up, and maybe you just think, I'm just going to hold the belly in the whole time. That's going to, it simplifies things. But I want you to really feel the difference because you've engaged the belly strength here just for these leg lifts, which we've done thousands of times. So you're just going to keep yourself within the frame of the chair, but use a lot of belly strength here, stabilizing your low back. Let's get a little pattern now. We know what it is to just lift up, lift up. So lift up and kick it out and then bring it back down. Switch, you lift up the knee, kick it out, knee bends down. So find that new pattern, but use that belly strength, don't forget. You don't have to hold on to the chair. If you decide, I got this, I'm gonna really test how strong my core has become, and I can just keep my hands at the waist, please do that. You know what, I'm gonna use the chair. My low back is needing all the help it can get. Can you find your rhythm of breath? Notice the breath in this little pattern. Next time you got your left knee up, bring it up now and hold on to the shin. Pull your leg way into your chest and belly. Let's spin that foot around. Slip your hands underneath your thigh and, right into the crease of the knee. I'm going to step my other foot a little bit away so I got some space here. I'm going to start spinning around now for some movement through the knee joint. Real simple, but real effective. So circle in one direction and then circle the other direction. And let's come back to center. So bring your other leg, your standing leg, back to center. And I want you to guide your knee away from center. So that bent knee we were just working on, we're going to guide it away from center. You can hold onto the chair to help stabilize or not. So it's an external rotation. So we're doing some movement through that hip joint. And you can maybe pick up the pace if you sort of like to just get it going. That's fine. Find your own rhythm of movement in the hip. Just another one or two. We'll come back to center. Take a moment to shake that loose or reset your body. Let's go back to the pattern of movement. See if we can find it again. Lifting, kicking, back to the bent knee, finding the pattern of movement. See if we can ruffle through that in our head. Find it. Yep, there it is. And this time we'll start with this leg. So we're going to begin here, just holding onto the shin, pulling that leg into your chest and belly so you can move through your ankle, circle around. Feel the belly strength that's helping you even here. Smooth out your breath. Now, as we slip our hands underneath the knee, underneath there, get yourself a little wider stance so you got plenty of room to move through this circle of the knee. I am tickled to death that this is easy. When I first started doing it, I thought it was clumsy. I just felt like it was hard to access. It's like, no mind over matter. Excellent. Let's come back to center. We're going to center that standing leg and let's just guide that knee off to the external rotation now. So hold on to the chair if that's going to give you the support, the better support. Try flexing that foot, a stronger leg. So we got a lot more muscle activity going on in the leg that's being moved from side to center. Find your breath. And let's come back and bring both feet to the floor. any kind of movement, any kind of reset your body needs. Let's take a big breath in through the nose. And when you exhale, that ah sound, glide yourself down to a fold. Ah. Come back up. Take a big breath in through the nose. Ah. Jump your hands to your thighs, come back up. Maybe you've chosen now, oh, I got to have a little more space between my legs. Remember, line up your feet with your knees so that you're not just bowing out. So let's do that again. Inhale through the nose. Exhale is the ah, but it includes a fold. This time, let's hang out. Hang out in your fold. Maybe you can stretch yourself so your armpits are layered on top of your kneecaps. Open your eyes and look down and underneath the chair. Big belly breaths now. Feel that stretch of the low back. Keep your seat really planted. So sit bones, can you just imagine the sit bones that you're trying to drill those sit bones into your chair seat, and then feel the resultant stretch through the buttocks. Try to surrender the weight of your head. One hand at a time comes to your thighs. Squeeze your elbows into your waist. Bring yourself to a halfway mark. Me turning, you don't need to. We're going to pull the chin in so that we feel like we've got a real nice diagonal line. Our face isn't protruding. Our head is not out of alignment with the spine. Get intentional about that and spread your wings away from you, but back, away, but back, not to the sides. So we're really opening up through the chest. Press your feet to the floor. Make a good imprint with your feet. Feel the strength of your legs and follow that strengthening all the way up into the belly, through the length of your spine, into your shoulders, and even how you're holding your head up so properly. One more time, do that whole scan. Press your feet to the floor. You're feeling the strength of your legs into your knees. You can feel it coming into the hips and buttocks, belly, through the length of your spine, into the shoulder carriage, and you're holding your head so properly and perfectly. Both arms could reach up, or you might grab hold of elbows. See what seems to fit best for you to come up now. It changes the whole feel of how gravity is pulling you down because we've raised up the arms. See how that works. Get stronger with your legs. Maybe your diagonal line changes. It's not quite so far forward. You bring yourself a little more upright. You can test that. You can just see what works best. Beautiful. Now lift all the way up, all the way up. Let's get ourselves a nice backstroke here. Inhale up and backstroke that all the way down. Beautiful. Now, again, reset the body. All right, let's bring feet a little closer together. Maybe start to scoot them underneath the chair. I want you to pop yourself right out of that chair a couple times. Stay with it at least 2 or 3 more times. And we'll meet standing up. I want you to bring your feet together as close as you can. I'm turning to the side just so you can see it. You might not have to do a single thing. And we're coming into this squat. So we've got our feet close together, legs close together, arms are straight. And let's start circling the knees. When we circle the knees, you can feel it in your ankles as well. Feel how strong your arms are. Your arms should be strong and straight. Feel how that you're shaped in your back. You're just feeling it. Make sure it feels good. This is a posture that can feel very good. So if somehow in this it feels cranky, make an adjustment. Do something so, oh, that's better, whatever that is. I just changed direction. So you do the same. Whenever it feels right for you to change the circular direction, do it. Do it at least once, but you might do it more than once. Now, see if you can bring yourself into this position with the legs really drawn together. This is a very challenging pose. Hands come to the heart position. Press in, elbows just extend away. This chair pose, this squat is really strengthening, firing up those thighs, right? Deepen your breath. Now let's lift up. Lift up. Keep your legs together. Palms are going to come way up and overhead. Legs together make it a much more balancing challenge. Take your inhale. Exhale, bow to your heart. Inhale, back up. And exhale, come all the way around. Excellent. Let's turn the chair so we've got the back side of it available to support some movement standing up. So I've got the high side of the chair near me. Standing leg is the leg nearby, but we're going to do a pattern. This might seem oversimplified for you, but it's good for balance and it's good for patterning, getting your mind to just catch on to the pattern, just to catch on to the pattern. So standing leg, and I'm just going to go with how I'm positioned. So let it adjust however it does for you. I've got my left leg near the chair. It's my standing leg. So I'm going to take my right foot forward for a step, then it's left, joins it. The left foot leads the way back, and then we join it. So it goes like this: right, left, left, right. Right step, left, right. Can you find that? Find your step. You might want to just fix yourself so you're doing the same thing as me, just to simplify things. It's right, then left, left, then right. You're looking out, you're not looking at your feet, and it's not a giant step, just a quick pattern. Ease, just find the ease in that. We're going to add one more pattern. When both feet are together, take that step wide and bring together. It's the same command. It's still right, left, left, right. So let's just do it one more time. It's the same command, but you just moved in a different direction. So we're going to put that all together: forward and back, side to side, forward and back, side to side. See if you can find that. Stay with it. It's always the same command: right, left, left, right, right, left, left, right. Find your breath. Last time, we're going to meet at the chair. Turn around. Other side is at the chair, near the chair. New standing leg. Take a moment now. Let's take a big breath in. Blow it out like you're blowing out a candle. So now the command changes: left, right, right, left, left, right, right, left, left, right, right, left. So stay with that. Look out. We're going to add that side step: left, right, right, left. Do it again: left, right, right, left, and then find your pattern. See if you can put it all together. You're looking out. You're following that pattern. And there's no harm in continuing to say the words: left, right, right, left, left, right, right, left. No harm in doing it that way. Find your breath, catch up. Last time. We'll bring ourselves back to the chair. Now I'm going to center that chair so we can use the back part to find that L-shaped stretch that we favor. So let's get your hands the same distance apart as how you got your feet placed. So your best guess that you've got the same distance between your feet as you do between your hands. Let's use this as a chance to stretch through the legs so there's no bend in the knee. Work on that. Feel the stretch. Give yourself the intensity of that. Deepen the breath. Now we're going to do a little toe balancing. All you have to do, hopefully you won't have to look at the screen at all. All you're going to do is lift your heels up and get onto your toes. So your knees have to bend, of course, and you're just doing a little toe balancing. You could do it by one at a time. It's kind of like we're taking a walk. One heel lifts up, then the other one. So just play with it a little bit. Get into your toes, feeling the stretch through your feet. You're going to be strengthening your feet, and you're getting some movement through those joints, opening up the fascial layer of your feet. Let's drop both heels down now and just stretch that out. Try to straighten the back of your knees. There's very straight legs here. And start walking toward the chair. Just take your time to get yourself up. And when you find yourself in an upright position, find your mountain pose and catch up with your breath. Now, while you're in your mountain pose, you can watch the screen here for a second. So I'm going to show you what we're doing next, and that way you won't have to try to look at it while you're trying to do it. So while you're catching up with your breath, we're going to, next time we come into this, we're going to do a warrior three. Warrior three, bona fide yoga pose, has us in this L shape, but it is a one-legged balance. So you're going to see about lifting one leg as much as you're able. It doesn't have to be at hip height, but it could be. And the extended leg, that foot, the toe is pointing toward the floor. So if you're ready to get started with that, find that L shape once again and see if you want to add warrior three to your workout today. Of course, you'll switch. You'll eventually do it on each leg. So take your time, breathe your way through it, hold the chair, steady yourself. Make sure you're feeling that your head is well positioned. You're managing the weight of your head properly. And be sure you do both sides. So you're giving yourself strengthening, that bone strengthening, by doing one-legged balances. So if you've had a chance to work your way through that, meet me in mountain pose. So when you're ready, just find your way up and find the mountain pose. So I want you to pretend or imagine you've got that block between your thighs, and you're giving yourself a squeeze there. So squeeze the imaginary block, get your hands to face forward, and lift yourself up, chest, 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 so you feel like you're very upright here. But there's, of course, a very soft bend of the knee in our mountain. Let's close the eyes now and breathe through the length of the body. Exhale completely. And one more time, full breath in. Got to go through the whole length of the body and exhale it out. Good. Now, standing up like this, remember how we did sort of use the Ferris wheel to find a twist. So I want you to do that standing up, where you're going to just start with that arm in motion, moving, keeping your arm as close to your body as you can, following the movement like a Ferris wheel does, and letting your body turn a little bit to accomplish that. So you're turning your head, your shoulders turn a little bit, so you move with the arm. We're going to meet it, we're going to kind of capture it halfway. So when your arm is now extended at a horizontal position, match that with the extension of your other arm. So you've got an extension in a horizontal position now. You might find that you have to soften your knees even more. Maybe one knee has to bend a little more than the other one. So you find yourself twisted with extended arms. Do something particular with your hands. Hold them in a way that was mindfully chosen. Inhale as you come out of it, palms will come together overhead. Exhale, bow to your heart. Inhale up, take a backstroke to come out of that. Find your mountain pose again. Make sure you nothing's changed. You're well suited and you're back to your mountain pose. Full breath in through the whole body, full breath out. And let's do the other side now. It's going to follow the movement of a Ferris wheel. Check in to see if there's any tension where you don't need it. What if you're gritting your teeth here, or you're just feeling your hands are in a fist, where, just check. Might not happen, might not find any at all, but just be sure you're not holding tension where it's not serving you whatsoever. We're going to find that diagonal line again. So as you extend back, extend your front arm. So again, you found your arms in a horizontal kind of T shape. Feet stay planted as much as you can. Maybe you have to bend one knee more than the other. Just feel the shape now in your when you're standing up. Where do you feel it? Where's this twist located? Breathe big breaths. Hold your head high. Exhale completely. And when we come out of it, we're going to unwind and bring palms together overhead. Exhale as you bow. Our inhale is going to take those arms up, separate your hands now, soften the knees. We're going to just slide our hands down the legs, hang out like a rag doll. Go as deep into your fold as you can. And if you know you need to have the chair nearby, some part of you is relying on the support of the chair, don't hesitate to get that. So you might start over, set yourself up now that you know what we're doing, and you get your support from the chair that you know is perfect for you. Keep your eyes open as you look down and underneath yourself, and be sure your hands are touching something. Maybe they're touching your legs or your feet, the floor, but they're touching something, and you use that as a connecting point of grounding and stabilizing, really keeping your bearings. Let's get our hands to our shins. Even the fingertips could be there. That's my preference. I just have the fingertips to the shins right below the kneecap. And I'm creating the same L shape that we do with the use of the chair. We've got the same L shape. We don't have the extension of the arms, but our body is in the same shape. Bring your feet to the floor in a way that your awareness to your feet on the floor in a way that helps you really trust that that is stable and you're able to extend and expand into the chest more. So test the waters. Maybe your wings can come up. You can release your fingertips from your shins and your palms are just facing the floor as your hands reach back. Now soften the knees quite a bit and bring yourself up. Palms will come together. Inhale, bow as we exhale. Inhale back up and come all the way around. And now I want you to bring your feet back together. Hands to the knees, arms are straight. Let's circle around. Catch up with your breath. Change the direction at least once. And let's hold it in the squat. Hold that squat position. This is called the chair pose. Utkatasana. I think I'm saying that properly. And we're going to bring our hands to the prayer position now. Pull the belly in. Get real strong in the belly. And remember, there's a diagonal line of your body. Maybe you can straighten it up a little bit here. Try straightening it up. It's not quite so diagonal. Squeeze those legs, lift up. Nicely done. Let's take a pause right here. Palms together, legs together. Catch up with your breath. I'm going to suggest you find a drishti. Stare at something right now. It's what's anchoring you. Your gaze fixed to something. Beautiful. And now it's time for Shavasana. So let's get ourselves set up. Bring yourself to, maybe you use 2 chairs, maybe you get to a recliner. It's time for Shavasana. Be sure to lean back into the chair. Not that I have to coax you, right? Lean back in and get as much support as possible. I'll give about a minute here for everybody to make their adjustments, get into their posture, of relaxation, getting their slippers back on or whatever you might need for that. And then we'll do a little breath work together. So again, make sure you got a lot of support. The chair is entirely holding you. You're upright enough. You've got yourself held upright enough. And we're going to do some alternate nostril breathing. This can be done with the use of your hands, or your fingers, I should say, to plug a nostril. It doesn't have to be, though, and I'm not going to choose that route for myself. But it's a great way to finish up our practice by sort of balancing through the body's energy system. The right side of the body and the left side of the body have very different energies. And let's just balance that intentionally and mindfully, balance those energies with this type of breath work. So let's start by breathing in through the left nostril and breathing out through the right nostril. So again, you could switch that and just plug the nostril that you're not using. That's okay. But doing it with your intention and making it more imaginary, it also is effective. It's also just as effective. So you decide, but it's left in and right out. So inhale through the left nostril, exhale through the right nostril. Stay with that. Left side is inhaling, right side is exhaling. Just keep your eyes closed and don't fuss about it. Just do your best. Because we've already set the intention to be balancing the energies of the body. Do breathe in and all the way in, and breathe all the way out and get the benefit of that relaxation that the exhale provides. A few more breaths like this. Inhale through the left nostril, exhale through the right. Now we're going to switch. Next time you exhale through your right, stay there and draw your inhale through the right as well. Exhale left. Inhale right, exhale left. So we've just switched sides. We're inhaling through the right nostril, right side of the body, exhaling through the left nostril or left side of the body. So we alternate the inhale and the exhale. We're alternating between sides right there at the juncture of the inhale and the exhale. Just be relaxed about it. Don't overthink it. Don't worry about it. Just do the way it feels in your body, feels natural, and you're committed to it. You're on board. We're balancing the energies. Stay with it now a little more longer with right nostril inhaling, left nostril exhaling. Good. Now let's just inhale through both nostrils. Inhale and exhale through your mouth as though you're blowing out a candle. Use it as a way of lengthening your exhale, only as long as you need to, or as long as it is interesting to you and you want to participate in that. Otherwise, just let your breath return to its normal rhythm, and you're resting in that. You're resting in the awareness of your breath in its own natural rhythm. The poem I've selected for today from the book by Dana Faulds. This one's called The Fruits of Practice. Despite fervent pleas for ease and safety, there are many days when reality doesn't quite line up with what I'd choose. Break down, letting go, surrendering even the illusion of control, breathing into the unknown. Sometimes that is what life holds. Practice hasn't brought an end to pain. I still increase my suffering like a fish caught on a line. My struggles only draw the hook in deeper. But being in reality is its own reward. It's the perfect paradox. The courage to stand and breathe when everything in me wants to flee is as great a gift as the freedom to seek retreat. No, practice hasn't brought an end to pain, but it has honed my willingness to experience the moment and sometimes see perfection unfolding in ways I wasn't big enough to plan, much less predict. Practice isn't about achieving a goal. It's not a means to pole vault over suffering. Practice is my way of looking life in the face and saying yes to all its disparate gifts. Practice keeps me awake when I would sleep and reminds me it's the journey unfolding in this very moment. It's the journey that reveals the truth and not the destination. Let me say that last line one more time. Practice keeps me awake when I would sleep and reminds me it's the journey unfolding in this very moment. It's the journey that reveals the truth and not the destination. Stay with your full breath in and your full breath out a little bit longer. Listen for your breath, feel your breath. Now let's take that deep breath in through the nose. Exhale it out of your mouth with a big sigh. Ah. Two more like that. Big inhale. Sigh it out. Ah. Good. Let's get our feet back to the floor. Kind of come forward on your chair if you need to make that adjustment. We want to sit tall again. Align the spine. Sit up tall. Feet to the ground. Let's take a big inhale. Big open arms. Gathering it all in as we bring palms together overhead. Look up. Bow to your heart. Inhale up. Let's share this energy, this beautiful energy that we have gathered around and in us from our yoga practice. Let's share it with our communities. Palms come together at the heart. We bow to ourselves, we bow to one another. Namaste, my friends. Thanks so much for joining me and have a beautiful weekend.